We are here. I mentioned the middle of March. The spring market is here, and many experts are saying this is going to be a very, very competitive spring market. So my goal this morning is to give you the visuals, give you the information that you need to help your clients make a wise decision and move forward confidently in this market. So I'm going to start out here with a quote from Mike Simonson from Altos Research, and I don't think I could have said it better. He said, "We keep watching for it, but there are absolutely no signs of a market slowdown anywhere in the data. If anything, we're seeing the market continue to heat up." And so, we've been talking about this over the last few weeks, and, is all of this sustainable? And then, some of the activity in the market. And I want to cover that this morning and give you sort of a reality of where the market's at. And, if you've been following Keeping Current Matters, you've seen anything we've done on different webinars or things like that. We've always talked about what's happening and kind of had this phrase of there's not good news or bad news, there's just the news. And I want to bring some of that news to you this morning. The first one I'll start with is in February, active listings dropped again. And I know I'm not coming here to the deep dive this morning telling anybody on here something they didn't realize. We need more inventory across the country, and that's a reality. I think the truth about the market is over the last several years, all the things that we know about home becoming much more important, the low interest rates have driven demand, have driven down listings in the market. You see where we're at here, according to Realtor.com, in February of this year as compared to February last year, considerably lower in active listings. So that's one reality of the market. The second reality is we're selling more homes than we've ever sold before. Last year, we set a 15-year record on existing home sales in this country. So two things are true. We need more inventory, and we're selling inventory across the country. We're selling homes across the country. And I think those are two things you sort of have to hold with both hands in today's market. There's one graphic that I believe does the best job of showing where this market is at. And I tell you, take a picture of it, post it, put it out there, tag Keeping Current Matters, we'll reshare it for you. It's the change in composition of active listings across the country. And this look right here gives us a really good look at new listings that come in each month, and then the carryover listings from the previous month. Goes all the way back to August of last year, and you sort of see these new listings come in, start to dip down, and then listings carry over each month. And you see even in February, very, very few listings carrying over. What does this mean? As soon as something comes on the market, it sells. And again, I'm not telling you something that you don't know in your market right now, but I am saying this is a graphic that you can use to explain to your clients what's happening in the market. Even the last few, if you were to go back through them, what's the reality? There's low inventory. The other reality, homes are selling. The third reality, they're selling very, very quickly. And I think that's what we need to get in the hands of folks that we're working with today. The reality of this market, and then of course show them how we can make a difference and help them find the home that they're looking for. But the bottom line of this market, I'll use a quote from Fortune magazine here, says this: now more industry insiders are throwing out their previous forecasts and replacing them with more bullish short-term looks. Indeed, some experts say the 2022 spring housing market might go down as one of the most competitive on record. So this is the part where forecasters are looking at the market, and that they've done that over the last several months. And they've said, I think we're going to be here. And then they go, well, we're going to revise that up. I think we're going to see more activity, or we're going to see higher interest rates, or we're going to see more, whatever the case may be. They're revising, more bullish in their expectations and saying this spring market likely to be very, very competitive. They say here going down is one of the most competitive on record. Truths about the market right now that I think we need to get in the hands of the clients that we're working with. If we start to turn our attention to what do we see happening right now, and what are experts saying about where things are going, I want to bring you some facts in that area. First, I'll start off with showing time. We've used showing time all throughout the last couple of years on the deep dive to show a measure of activity, those going up and setting appointments to go look at homes. And this is a look at showing time over the last 5 Januaries, the most recent information we have in January. And we can see showings in January are crushing pre-pandemic numbers. Matter of fact, in January, it was the third highest showing number that we've seen since the pandemic. So a lot of activity out there, and expect that to continue as we get warmer across the country, as more people, as we come out of COVID, maybe they feel more comfortable putting their homes on the market. All the reasons we know about the coming spring market, but a lot of activity already in the market. If we think about new listings, this is a look at new listings for the last several years, going all the way back to 2017. You sort of see the seasonality of listings start out in January and rise and then peak and fall off during the year. And I've kind of highlighted here this red circle. That is 2022. That's this year. So what's the good news there with new listings? We're ahead of where we were last year. That's a good thing. We want to see that continue. And we're right near where we were in 2020 before the pandemic started. So again, we want to see those listings continue to climb. We want to see more inventory in the market, because as we have this, depletion of inventory, it continues to put upward pressure on prices. And that's, again, going back to that sustainability question, many people asking, is all this, going to be able to continue in the housing market? Well, as we continue to have low inventory, there's going to continue to be a frenzy in the market. And we want to be able to, explain that very, very well. But we are seeing some good news come out with listings. This comes from Realtor.com. During the final 2 weeks of the month, they're talking about last month of February, more new sellers entered the market than during the same time last year. That's a good thing. However, with 5.8 million new homes missing from the market and millions of millennials and first-time buying ages, housing supply faces a long road to catching up with demand. So again, here, starting to see a turn in some of the listings, starting to see more people say, we want to put our home on the market, but serious lack of homes on the market, and all of that keeping pressure on prices. The most recent forecast for prices, you see it right here. All the forecasters that we're looking at Keeping Current Matters. In this graphic here, 7 forecasters, the average just over 6% appreciation this year. I think we're going to be higher than that. I mentioned the quote before from Fortune magazine saying many experts are, revisiting their forecast, and I think you're seeing that with many of these. They're saying, we thought we were going to be here, now we think we're going to be a little bit higher than that. I think they'll revise these up to somewhere between 8 and 10% appreciation before too long. All of that having to do with a lack of inventory. One of the other big stories I think going into the spring market is going to be mortgage rates. This is a look at mortgage rates going back to the last week in 2021, all through each week of this year so far. And we peaked around the middle of February at almost 4% on the average 30-year fixed, as recorded by Freddie Mac. Saw a little bit of a dip in the last couple of weeks due to market uncertainty, all the things we talked about on the deep dive, and then this past week starting to see a little bit of an uptick. Now, I think this, the message I would have for you here is what I said last week. Experts are saying don't expect these low rates to last. So I believe we will, see some uncertainty, but at some point move back into this upward trending interest rate environment. So something you're going to watch, something that you want to keep your clients, abreast of. And I found a quote from Realtor.com that really sort of gives some numbers to what's happened in real estate. And they say this: at today's rate, the buyer of a median priced home is facing a mortgage payment about $290 per month higher than a year ago. So a quick answer to a question, somebody talks to you, how's the market? Well, an average priced home, almost $300 more this year as compared to last year, just due to the financing. They go on to say, with not enough homes for sale, both first-time buyers and homeowners looking for a trade-up home are locked in place by surging prices with higher interest rates. Certainly the trend in the market, higher prices, higher rates, waiting for the market to sort of cool off or come down. I don't see that happening. If anything, it's just going to cost more the longer we go down the road. That's an update of really where the market is at this spring. A lot of activity, prices rising, interest rates rising. We need more inventory. We're starting to see that come into the market, and that's a good sign. We want to see that continued on. But I'll sort of wrap up this way. It causes many people to ask, should I buy a home right now? Gosh, I've seen prices rising. I see everything happening, and I'm just not sure. And we even know from surveys, people saying, is it a good time to buy a home has fallen to lows over the last several months and throughout the last year. But really, what's at stake? I think this graphic does a good job to show what's at stake relative to equity over the next 5 years, according to the Home Price Expectation Surveys. Came out in the fourth quarter of 2021, $89,000, just over $89,000 at stake in equity in the average price home in this country if bought today. That's the message we need to be getting out there. That's the message I would be getting out there to those that are thinking about buying or that are wondering, should I buy right now? That's what's at stake. That's what really is at play right now relative to equity and building wealth. We know home ownership is one of the key drivers to building wealth, and we want to help more and more people do that. I'm going to wrap up here and bring Jess in just a second. But before I do that, I want to give you a resource that we've created here at KCM, how to succeed in a changing real estate market. And no doubt the market is changing from where we were in the pandemic to where we're going. Great opportunity. I know they'll put in the comments the links to those, not only for non-members, but for if you're a member of KCM, where you can find that and download that resource today. So, Jess, I'm going to pause for just a second. Do we have any questions that have come up?
I've just seen one question come through from Scott Springborn, who asked about the listing counts, asking that those don't include off-market deals, correct?
Correct. Right. So if it'd be off-market, then it would not be, anything that's an active listing. So.
I think, we just got one more come through from Junior, who asked, with the inclination of property insurance, how will that affect the real estate market?
With the what?
With the, sorry about that. My computer screen seems to be frozen.
Okay.
It won't let me scroll up. With something property insurance, how will that affect?
It's okay. Yeah, I'm not sure the question there on property insurance, but Junior, if you want to email me, it's David at Keeping Current Matters. I'm happy to think that through, but not sure what the question is, but feel free to email me about that. All right.
Then I just saw one come through from Carl, who asked, is it possible to get the presentation deck? And I just wanted to point out that members do get access to the slide deck. You can visit your member area, and if you're not a member, you can visit trykcm.com.
Yeah. Love to have you start a free trial of KCM. You can try it out for 2 weeks, see if it's right for you. Go to trykcm.com. So I'll wrap on that. Hope you have a wonderful week, a great Monday, and we'll see you back again next week on the Deep Dive. Take care.